I mean, finally, we found the script. We did Expendables together, but this was like starring throughout the whole movie.
What if the legends we grew up idolizing, the muscle-bound heroes who saved the world on screen, were quietly battling their darkest moments behind the spotlight? What if the real drama wasn't in the explosions, the car chases, or the epic one-liners, but in the secrets they've buried, the betrayals they've faced, and the fortunes they've built while the world watched in awe? From million-dollar mansions and luxury jets to near-career-ending scandals and emotional breakdowns, this story isn't what you think. Because one Hollywood icon, once untouchable, now stands at the center of shocking allegations, stunning confessions, and a jaw-dropping empire of wealth and heartbreak. And just when it seems like the final curtain is closing, everything changes. What really happened behind closed doors? And how did it all nearly fall apart? You're about to discover the side of fame they never wanted you to see. In recounting the dramatic events that have defined his turbulent journey, Stallone draws parallels between his early days of relentless rejection, when casting directors dismissed a battered, unpolished hopeful, and his relentless commitment to self-made success. From working low-paying jobs such as cleaning cages at a zoo and scraping by as an usher earning meager wages, to enduring the grinding despair of living out of public transportation terminals, his early story contrasts sharply with the lavish lifestyle he now leads. What if I told you that this same man who once pleaded for a break now enjoys the spoils of an unimaginable transformation? Today, Stallone is known not only for his roles in iconic films like Rocky, but also for his shrewd business ventures and opulent lifestyle. His portfolio now boasts an impressive array of luxury cars, each symbolizing a chapter of triumph, with models from prestigious marques that speak to his impeccable taste and appreciation for refined engineering. Complementing his fleet are high-end watches that serve as both sophisticated accessories and investments, attesting to his continual balancing of art and finance. Beyond that, his real estate holdings span both urban penthouses and sprawling estates in sun-kissed locales, each property reflecting a legacy built on determination and unyielding passion. Hold on. The story intensifies as he reveals that his success wasn't achieved solely on the silver screen, but through a series of strategic investments, from exclusive collaborations in the entertainment industry to entrepreneurial ventures that have consistently disrupted conventional business models, all while maintaining robust personal and business insurance policies that cover every facet of his dynamic life, ensuring that his health, assets, and career remain safeguarded even in the face of unforeseen setbacks. Stallone's saga is more than a triumph over adversity. It is a masterclass in leveraging adversity into opportunity. His financial journey, much like his on-screen roles, is defined by bold decisions, calculated risks, and an unswerving dedication to authenticity. One cannot help but be captivated as he narrates how, after experiencing the nadir of desperation and financial despair, he reinvented himself with a fierce determination that not only redefined his career but also set the stage for groundbreaking cinematic achievements. And here's the surprising twist that nobody saw coming. In revealing the intricacies of his personal metamorphosis, Stallone also sheds light on the invaluable financial lessons derived from years of navigating an industry notorious for its volatility. His story is a treasure trove of insights, from the importance of self-reliance and crafting one's destiny despite external pressures, to the essential value of maintaining a diversified portfolio that encompasses not just lucrative film contracts, but also stable long-term investments in lifestyle assets. His journey serves as a beacon for anyone striving to rise above seemingly insurmountable odds, underscoring that career choices are never isolated from financial wisdom, and that every setback harbors the potential to become a stepping stone toward a more prosperous future. In this rare moment of openness, Stallone does not merely recount a history of professional setbacks and personal challenges. He paints a vivid picture of transformation, from a bullied, misunderstood youth subjected to relentless hardships, to a global icon who has harnessed every obstacle as fuel for his creative and financial success. His narrative is interspersed with moments of raw vulnerability and fierce determination, merging personal anecdotes with profound reflections on the industry's underbelly. But wait! the narrative pulses with dramatic hooks that engage the listener at every twist. Whether it is the startling revelation of an elevator encounter that encapsulated years of pent-up rivalry, or the unexpected confession of a shared personal connection that once threatened to upend both their lives. Arnold looked him in the eye and told him he planted the rumor that made Stallone take on "Stop," or "My mom will shoot." The movie bombed. Stallone's career took a hit, and Arnold laughed about it for years. The prank was petty, but the damage was real. Now, decades later, Stallone admits it stung more than he ever let on. Their Cold War lasted years, but Hollywood doesn't let icons stay enemies forever. The tension turned into mutual respect, eventually leading to joint appearances, interviews, and even working together in The Expendables. It was the truce fans didn't expect but secretly hoped for. But those years of one-upmanship shaped Stallone. They pushed him to build not just muscle, but an empire. And what an empire it became. Stallone's financial trajectory reads like a comeback script. From sleeping in bus stations to commanding a net worth that now hovers around $450 million, he turned raw grit into generational wealth. His real estate portfolio alone is staggering. He once owned a $110 million Beverly Hills estate, 11,000 square feet of cinematic legacy, later sold to Adele. Before that, he had a cliffside mansion in La Quinta and a lavish getaway in Palm Beach, Florida. Each property tells a story, not just of success, but of someone who understood the art of reinvention. The cars, pure fantasy. From a Bugatti Veyron to custom Camaros and a Ferrari 599 GTB Fiorano, his garage looks like a billionaire's dream sequence. His taste in watches? Equally elite. He's been spotted wearing Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore, and classic Rolex models, each timepiece a reminder that timing, in Stallone's world, is everything. But his investments stretch beyond luxury goods. He's poured money into fitness ventures, art, and even written and directed productions that earned back-end profits. Stallone doesn't just spend, he multiplies. And when it comes to protecting that empire, Stallone's no amateur. For decades, he's maintained a suite of high-value personal and business insurance policies, covering his health, film productions, luxury assets, and career-specific risk. For someone who's jumped from helicopters and bled on set, this wasn't optional, it was essential. It's the kind of meticulous protection that shows he's always been more than just brawn. He's a strategist. But here's the part most people miss: the wisdom behind the wealth. Stallone once said that the worst part of being broke wasn't the poverty, it was the feeling that no one believed in him. That memory, that fire, never left. That's why he advises new actors and entrepreneurs to learn the difference between spending for validation and investing in legacy. He's lived both sides. He's been the underdog and the overdog, and he knows how quickly fortunes can flip. Behind the financial armor, there's still a man shaped by grief. In 2012, Stallone's son Sage tragically passed away at just 36. It was a loss that shattered him. He spoke rarely of it, but his eyes said what words couldn't. Then in 2022, his mother, Jackie Stallone, passed at 98. And through it all, Stallone kept working, because that's what fighters do. He channeled the pain into characters, each one tougher, more layered, more haunted. Recently in the Paramount Plus series Tulsa King, we see a different Stallone. Older, wiser, but still dangerous. The character, a mafia capo exiled to Oklahoma, mirrors Stallone's own evolution. Still a force, but with decades of scars. And fans? They're eating it up. Because while the industry often moves on from its stars, Stallone has refused to fade. He's not just a part of the conversation, he is the conversation. And don't think he's slowing down. At 78, Stallone still trains daily. He still writes, still dreams. He once said, "I'm not the richest, I'm not the smartest, but I'll die trying the hardest." That's not just a quote, it's his blueprint. A man who crawled from the bottom, faced giants, lost battles, and still rose. Then came the 1990s, a decade that nearly swallowed Stallone whole. His career took hit after hit. The magic that had once made him Hollywood's king of action started to fade. But just when the industry was ready to write him off, he roared back with cliffhanger in 1993. High in the Italian Dolomites, Stallone faced down real heights, real stunts, and real fear. He didn't just perform, he risked it all. The film soared, pulling in over $250 million globally, and proving that this underdog still had teeth. That same year, he flipped the script with Demolition Man, a futuristic spectacle where he played a cryogenically frozen cop brought back to life in a world gone soft. It was bold, weird, and unexpectedly brilliant. Stallone was no longer just the muscle, he had range. The movie banked $159 million worldwide and became an instant cult classic. But as Stallone clawed his way back, another force loomed, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Their rivalry was legendary. What started with a glance at a Golden Globe gala in the late 70s turned into an all-out war for box office dominance. They traded punches through scripts and movie posters, trying to outmuscle, out-earn, and outlast each other. Stallone mocked Arnold's accent. Arnold mocked Rambo. It was a battle of egos, and every fan took sides. But in 1992, Arnold pulled off a move no one saw coming, and Stallone never forgot. In what might be Hollywood's most savage prank, Arnold got wind of a terrible comedy script. "Stop!" or "My mom will shoot." He pretended to be interested, letting word get around that he wanted the role. Stallone, not wanting to lose a project to his arch-nemesis, grabbed the part before anyone could stop him. The result? A total disaster. The movie tanked, the jokes fell flat, and critics ripped it apart. Years later, Arnold gleefully admitted he had faked his interest to bait Stallone. It wasn't just a prank, it was a career trap, and Stallone walked right into it. But Hollywood is strange. Enemies one day, allies the next. By the mid-90s, they found themselves co-investors in Planet Hollywood. Suddenly, they were standing side by side at launch parties, red carpets, and press events. Awkward at first, but slowly the armor dropped. Then came The Expendables in 2010. For the first time, fans saw Stallone and Schwarzenegger fighting the same battle, not against each other, but together. By The Expendables 2, the feud had become friendship, and their rivalry turned into comedic gold. In 2013, they co-led Escape Plan, cementing their evolution from bitter enemies to action brothers. Stallone later admitted Arnold made him better. And Arnold? He called Stallone the only man who ever made him feel threatened. In a good way. But success is fickle. In the early 2000s, Stallone's luck vanished again. He bet big on Driven, a high-octane racing drama he wrote, produced, and starred in. The budget ballooned to $72 million. The box office returns? A painful $32 million. Critics ripped into it, calling the CGI over the top and the script hollow. 7 Razzie nominations followed. Stallone called it one of his worst mistakes. And he wasn't wrong. Worse still was Detox, later renamed ICU. The psychological thriller was so shaky, the studio shelved it for 3 years. When it finally surfaced, it went straight to DVD in many markets, never earning back its $55 million cost. Critics compared it to Seven, but without any of the suspense. It was a low point. Stallone tried again with Avenging Angelo and Shade, but both barely made a dent. He wasn't just fading, he was vanishing. Then the miracle happened. In 2006, Stallone decided to go back to the beginning. Rocky V had been a misfire, but the story wasn't over. He wrote, directed, and starred in Rocky Balboa, returning to the role that had made him a household name. This wasn't just another sequel, it was personal. At 60, Stallone played a grieving Rocky, his beloved Adrian gone, his son distant, his fame forgotten. But when a computer simulation pits him against the new champ, Rocky steps back into the ring. Not for glory, but for closure. And Stallone didn't fake it. He and real-life boxer Antonio Tarver exchanged real punches to keep the scenes authentic. Audiences responded. The film opened exactly 30 years after the original and made $156 million on a modest $24 million budget. Critics praised it. Fans wept. Rocky wasn't just back, he was redeemed. And with him, so was Stallone. Just when Hollywood thought Sylvester Stallone's box office magic might be fading, he flipped the script. The Expendables wasn't just a movie, it was a declaration. He brought together an explosive lineup of action legends: Jason Statham, Jet Li, Dolph Lundgren, Mickey Rourke, Terry Crews, Randy Couture, Bruce Willis, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. It felt like a cinematic reunion of giants. While critics rolled their eyes at the storyline, audiences rushed to theaters. The film raked in over $274 million globally on a budget of just around $82 million. It was clear. Stallone's fire hadn't gone out. It had simply evolved. The franchise didn't stop there. The second installment added Chuck Norris and Jean-Claude Van Damme, fueling even more nostalgia. By the time Expendables 3 hit in 2014 and the fourth rolled out in 2023, fans still showed up, proving the appetite for throwback heroes hadn't disappeared. But beyond the bullets and brawls, Stallone's real battles were behind closed doors. In 1994, his longtime relationship with Jennifer Flavin ended in a shock that even Hollywood couldn't script. Instead of a conversation, Stallone sent her a 6-page letter via FedEx. No warning, no explanation, until she found out through her modeling agent that he'd been seeing Janice Dickinson, who had just given birth. No dating before 18, a 10 p.m. curfew, no driver's licenses until adulthood. Tough love, but his daughters praised him for it. Then came 2024's reality show, The Family Stallone, offering an intimate look at their lives. Fans believed in the fairy tale, until August 2022 shattered the illusion again. Flavin filed for divorce, accusing Stallone of reckless spending and financial mismanagement. Whispers swirled that a new Rottweiler Dwight was the real reason. Stallone and Flavin denied it, but timing told another story. And then another twist. Just a month later, the couple met privately and called off the divorce. Stallone vowed to put family first. He started leaving love notes, planning surprise trips, even helping with chores. The near divorce had shaken him, revealing what truly mattered. But just as the dust settled, controversy crept back in. In 2017, the Daily Mail released a bombshell report. An anonymous woman claimed Stallone had assaulted her in 1986. The story referenced a police file, but the Las Vegas authorities couldn't verify its existence. Stallone called the accusation absurd and completely false. Months later, a second woman came forward, alleging misconduct from 1987 and again in 1990. She claimed she'd confided in friends, but when asked, none confirmed her story. Prosecutors reviewed the claims but declined to file charges due to lack of evidence and statute of limitations. Stallone maintained that their relationship had been consensual. While the law stood by him, public opinion became divided. The timing, during Hollywood's reckoning with misconduct, only intensified the scrutiny. As the dust settled from those allegations, new headlines emerged, this time from the set of his series Tulsa King. Reports surfaced in 2022 claiming Stallone had made derogatory comments about background actors, allegedly demanding that only attractive women be placed near him on camera. One casting director even resigned, calling the work environment toxic. Paramount Plus issued no action, and the show's director called it a misunderstanding. But the damage was done. Whispers turned into headlines. Headlines turned into doubt. And just when the media began moving on, Pamela Anderson delivered a revelation that turned heads once again. In her Netflix documentary, Pamela, A Love Story, she claimed Stallone once offered her a luxury condo and a Porsche if she agreed to become his number one girl. She declined, questioning what number one really meant. Stallone shot back, denying everything and labeling it pure fiction. His camp insisted the exchange never happened. But Anderson stood her ground. The story reignited debates around Stallone's past and how women were treated in Hollywood's golden age of action stars. But while the scandals have left their imprint, Stallone's empire has continued to expand, quietly and powerfully. His net worth, once under pressure in the early 2000s, has now soared past $400 million. From blockbuster paychecks to long-term equity deals, he's built a diversified portfolio few actors can match. His real estate holdings alone are jaw-dropping. He once owned a $110 million Beverly Hills estate before selling it to Adele in a high-profile transaction. He's also invested in Florida's elite Palm Beach community, where he currently resides in a waterfront mansion worth an estimated $35 million. Stallone's garage reads like a luxury car showroom. Ferraris, Bugattis, Rolls-Royces, Bentleys. He's been spotted in everything from a sleek Aston Martin DBS to a custom Mustang GT 500. His watch collection includes timepieces from Audemars Piguet, Richard Mille, and Panerai, some worth over $1 million each. He's also been linked to ownership of a private Gulfstream jet, a symbol of how far he's come from the struggling actor who once sold his dog just to survive. Business-wise, he's made bold plays. He was a founding investor in Planet Hollywood, has a major stake in Balboa Productions, and continues to collaborate with streaming giants. He's inked lucrative deals with Paramount Plus, expanding his reach across platforms. Behind the scenes, he's reportedly protected by layered insurance policies, covering everything from film delays and stunts to personal health and high-value assets. So what can fans learn from Stallone's journey? For starters, resilience is a currency. He faced personal heartbreaks, career disasters, public accusations, and near financial ruin. But he never stopped pivoting. He diversified, he protected his wealth, he invested in himself. Stallone's empire wasn't just built on punchlines and action scenes. It was built on bold choices, smart plays, and the willingness to take hits and get back up. And that might just be the real legacy he leaves behind.